Greetings, this is the General, August 18th, around 1800 hours. This is almost 3.5 years of firewood, or I'll give it a good 3-year capacity, but it's quite extensive and covered up by the vegetation and the two popular trees there. But that's what I've been splitting this summer. It's doubled since the earlier video back in the March of capacity. And now here is the reinforced security fence and the back part of it, and that door probably run about $450 because that hardware there is very expensive, and I did overkill it because that's the way I work on things. It is reinforced. I'm still, when it cools off and after a good rain, when I can dig 3 or 4 foot behind that, I dig more 4x4 posts, 300 or 400 pounds of concrete, and I'm good to go. We're probably going to be able to, if it got bad, which I hope it doesn't, I can put on these 4x4s. I can put 2x8s, 2x6 or so forth, and put my wife on, put her some planters up here, and she can grow some herbs and some type of whatever she's in charge of the food, I don't know, but she can grow things back here is what I'm saying. I anchored it into the house. It goes all the way back almost, well, probably 25 feet short of the wood, so hell, I don't know how far this is. The camera won't show the true depth. Now, there's about 900 pounds to 1,000 pounds of concrete. That's deep. That is to keep the 6-foot wide door from sagging, hopefully. That's what the 4x4 brace is for on the top. Oh, I've got these all over the property. I'm the man on the end, at the end of the road, and I'm not close to where my property begins, but this is the driveway, and I'm not going to, it's too expensive, people, to try to fortify your entire property unless you're wealthy, and I'm not. The price for this, the highest bid for a general contractor to install this with the labor and the materials, and I wanted it I wanted the best materials put in it, was at $9,000, and most of it was labor, but so I did it myself to save money. Now here is something that Killer Kami from Mommy wanted to see. Yes, Killa, here you go. Here is the porcelain electric fence insulators, and I will be running that, but not at this moment now. I'm going to run this all the way to the top of the fence, which this puts it right at about 8 foot off the ground. And I'll run a strand of barbed wire through there. It's going to run on the top of the chain link fence too, but this will give you some idea. And if anyone is asking, it's close to 7,000 volts of current. That's right, it's up to 7,000 volts of current, and I have full capabilities of running this indefinitely without the electrical grid on when they cut that off the executive orders and so forth. So I'm self-sufficient on that, and I will. But at this point, I'm not going to run the electrical current over the wire up here. We're not at that point, people. So don't look at this as if I'm sitting up here thinking tomorrow it's fixing to happen. I've been through this in locations in the world, and I don't want to be caught of one of those victims who you saw civilian corpses, and they were killed looking for food, water, or shelter, or they didn't have the finances or the knowledge or the resources to make a barrier between violent marauders and themselves. And that's exactly what this is about. Another sign. That's a polite sign. My wife didn't let me put up the signs I wanted to, so I will comply with her decency. And up here is look at that. That's almost 14 to 16 foot off the ground. I made that, and it is well anchored deep into concrete masonry, 8x8, 4x4, and it's not going to come down easy, and it's almost 9 inches thick, people. It's solid. It sits on industrial casters. It's balanced. I didn't know what I was doing. That's a skill I'm still learning. That's my first attempt at making something like it. It's a vault door concept, and I'm not going to show the back of it. It has, it's going to make it difficult to get through. Any fence and any security door can be breached, but it's buying me time to respond. That's what this is all about, what I'm showing you. A buffer. It has twofold. As long as we're in peace, I'm in peace. And if we don't have any of these unpleasant collapses of social, political, financial, and end up in martial law and violence from civilians, and you better not underestimate violent civilians till their food source runs out, and then they get out of control. There's 300 million people, and a lot of them aren't prepared, and they're not going to come up here and kill and rape my family. This is a buffer. There's another fence on the other side, by the way. I'm going to be trying to take a shortcut around the cypress trees, and I'm going to be cutting through some vegetation to do so. And I'm going to come up to the, this is basically if the wood's ever caught on fire, it buys me time. Hopefully it don't come up on the house, which is 200 feet away from it, I think. The fence was terraced. I had reasons for it. These are peach trees. I've got 16 mature fruit trees. Terraced, terraced, and terraced. Well, we got more of the insulators, Killikami from Mommy, and a sign. That'll be over 8 foot. Some of these post holes, this is that Tennessee clay. That's what I had to dig 4.5 foot down there. There's several hundred pounds of concrete because I'm going to be doing some other reinforcement here and fortification on the end. And this post may be 16 foot, but that would mean there's at least 4 or 5 foot down in the ground. There's 500 or 600 pounds down there of concrete. I'm taking these gates down and I'm making a steel gate. I've never done that, but you better be learning your skills. And it's probably going to be 6 by 7, and then I will close this portion off. I will be running the electrical current at the proper time, not now, all the way around the chain link fence area. I also have got 8 foot steel post, T-post, in the ground already, and I will be putting Defender barbed wire, very, very stacked up tight, and I will have it electrified at the right time. And I also am waiting. The fence here is 4. It will go up to 6'6" on the extension. I also am waiting for the delivery of several of the steel 45-degree arm barb to where you set the strand barbed wire with it angles out. I guess here's my hand as an example on the fence. It extends out there in the wire, and then I will have a little more of an obstruction for invasive, violent idiots that want to come over here and try to hurt my family. And I can take this down if we don't have it. And if we don't have any collapse, if we don't end up in a violent country, I will take it all down and we'll go on in life. But I'm preparing for this based on what I've seen in the world and what I have seen in major critical incidents when it progressed from hell and destruction to death and destruction. That is what I'm showing you. Any fence, again, can be compromised. I have my family and the unit properly trained for a tactical response for imminent danger if the country goes into a collapses and violence. But at this point, I'm getting closer and closer to where I am meeting the objectives that I set forth earlier in the year. This is time consuming for me. I'm not going to show some other things. There's just something referred to as operation security, and some things are not to be put in public view. They're all legal and lawful. It's just something that gives my family and the tactical unit the opportunity to defend a little more effectively. Well, I'm going to be stopping this here in a minute. There's the woods. Peaceful out there. We got deer, turkey, all kinds of wildlife, and it's peaceful. Quite nice out here. Well, I'm not sure how long I'll leave this video up because of the fact it's got something that I will be using for my family's defense system is a portion of it, but it may give you some idea. And I know if you're going to relocate, realign, reposition yourself, or just get the hell out when something happens, you don't probably need to spend the money on fortifying. That's your decision. But if you are staying, I'm challenging you, what can you do that's within your financial capabilities, your time and effort? Because I've seen what happens when people didn't get prepared in the world, and it went to hell and then death and destruction. You don't get a second chance. I know everybody can't afford this, and I took money that we could have used for other things and diverted it here. And we do actually like the fence as a privacy fence, even though it's beefed up on steroids, so to speak. We're happy with it, and my wife and my family enjoys it out here. Well, I will be making other videos.